Hi everyone, I am Rajesh Kumar. I am having close to 16 plus years of experience in Devops, SRE and DevSecOps. I have worked with more than 12 software organizations around the globe. I would like to introduce you all a Devops School's flagship certification program in Devops, SRE and DevSecOps. This program will get started in the weekends, so get enrolled. Please contact us on the phone number given on the screen, and in fact you can email us on the contact@devopsschool.com. Okay, so Jmeter is basically a tool for performance testing. That means if you want to check the performance of some websites, web-based applications and all. So for that, you want to create the lots of load, thousands of load. Uh, Means let's say you cannot have thousands of users before releasing the product in the market, but before that only you want to see that how your application is performing. So you can simulate the thousands of users load on the application, and whatever the results which you get it, for example, response time, average response time for the each user. Using that, you can analyze it and see that how your application is, behaving in that with a certain load. So that is a things. But apart from that, JMeter we use for lots of other work also. For example, for APM in Datadog or Neuralink, or any other tools also we use to fake out the traffic. To create a fake traffic, we use a JMeter. So that is a primary use case for this tool. So as part of these sessions, I'm going to help you with understanding the performance testing. What is a performance testing? Then JMeter, then configuring the test plan, recording a test, and the configuring a dynamic test, and collecting and analyzing the test results. So these are the things which we'll start covering now. So so performance testing should start early and continue through the whole development process. Okay, so that is the objective in SDLC cycle. So you can keep doing it all the time since you start the software development. So it will be good for you to fix the problems which you may get it in terms of performance issues. So what is performance testing? So performance testing is a process in which you test the application or resources, how it is performed given a certain loads. So you want to create a load of 1,000 users, 10,000 users, or 1 lakh users, and you want to see that how your application is performing because your resources are limited on which you are running the application. So in that case, you want to see that how it's performing. So that process is called performance testing. So performance testing is done after functional testing. Yes. So functional testing, the one tool which we learn is Selenium. So it will be done after the functional testing. So in order to do the performance testing, which are the keywords which you hear a lot? Okay, and that one of the most important keyword is response time. So what is the response time if I create a from the application? If I create a load of 1,000 people, or if I create a load of 10,000 people or something like that. So that you need to analyze. You need to also understand the throughput, okay, reliability and scalability. So response time is nothing but a request time which you make it sorry, which you make it from the browser, and then processing time which is happened in the web server or app server, and then response time from the web server, including the network latency and stuff like that. So everything coming together, and that is called response time. Throughput. Throughput is one of the formula which you can see that here. Sorry. So throughput here, number of transaction which can be request and response, and by unit of time in a milli of seconds or whatever it is, and whatever you get it the output, total unit of time, is called throughput. This is throughput in terms of finding out the response time, and this is the throughput in terms of each request, how much of data it has sent and received. What is a reliability? Reliable means how much your application is reliable. So reliable means how many errors you are getting, percentage of error you can say. Let's say out of 100 people accessing a website, how many people are having the 404 issues? So something you can measure this, that's called reliability. So here number of users by number of requests, and you get a percentage of what exactly reliability score. And scalability scores combine all these things, including response time, throughput, percentage of errors, and so on. So these are the four metrics you have to understand. There is a two ways you can scale the application: vertical and horizontal. Vertical means you can add a number of instance, number of servers. Horizontal means horizontals most of the time is done in the container world like a pod and all. So it's done. So now the question is, once you start doing the performance testing, what is your requirement? What you want to know? So primarily these are the three questions which you want to know from your application, and that is like that the average maximum response time should be this one. Okay, and the system should be able to support this number of pages per second given a certain loads, and the system should be capable of supporting at least this many number of users per hour. So these are the specific requirement you have, so you start doing the performance testing. Now the question is, how do you start the performance testing? So what you do, first you design and build a test, okay, and then prepare the test environment, run the test, analyze the results, optimize and retest. So these are the process you follow. So when you start doing it, all these things you can take it further. So now question is what JMeter can do in terms of performance testing. So JMeter is not a browser, okay. So it does not execute JavaScript because you when I ask you to access the flipkart.com, you go to the browser and access that flipkart.com through the browser. So that is a way of browsing, and then whatever the response you get it, that's recorded. That can be recorded as well. But JMeter is not a browser. So because it's not a browser, it cannot execute JavaScript. In a browser only, it can execute the JavaScript. So Jmeter is not a browser. What exactly? So Jmeter is a tool to perform multiple server requests. So at the IP address and port level, you can send network call actually. It's not a calling the loading all the website and all stuff like that JavaScript, no. But it will call the website endpoint, which is IP address and port number or domain name, and whatever the response code, which it response code and response time which you have it, it will store it and it will provide it to you. So think of JMeter as a tool to perform multiple server requests. So what are the types of performance testings which you have? So you have a smoke test, verification test whether uh, endpoint is up and running or not. Load test, you have create a load, increase the load over the period of time and see that how's the response time is changing. Stress test, you can create a stress means create a load but at a certain interval, okay, that is stress test. Spike test, suddenly you create a huge traffic and suddenly you uh, you know down it that low traffic, so that's called spike test, suddenly spike has it. Endurance test, consistent number of users at any given point of time. So like that, these are the things to remember. So in order to do the performance testing, you need to remember response time, throughput, reliability, scalability, and some of the requirement and process to follow, which includes design and build test, prepare the test environment, run the test, analyzing the results, optimize and retest. So these are the introduction of um, performance testing. These are some of the features which we have in JMeter. Test different types of server or resources. Define variables. You can define the variables. Process requests and responses. Record test from the browser and extensible by plugins. So how to generate a loads? So you can set that number of users or number of requests, and these are the set of tester type which you have. Now next thing is let's get started with the JMeter. So how can we do that? So let me show you here. So now we are going to understand the JMeter. So as I said, JMeter is not a browser. Okay. So JMeters work at the protocol level, simulating network request. So here in order to simulate the request number of users, in JMeter we call it a thread that will become a user in the real term. So if you want to create a 1,000 users request to the application, you have to set the thread 1,000. So whereas one thread is equal to one user, so the 1,000 thread is equal to 1,000 users, something like that. So what is the workflow in the JMeter? So you can create a request and a request will be made. The response what JMeter received, it will be saved, and then that is where you can collect the data and analyze the reports. So how do we install it? So installation requirement, so simple. Uh, this JMeter application is developed in Java. So you need to install Java and Java has to be set. So these are the things which you have to set. And because this is installed in Java, this is developed in Java, so you can run in any operating system like Windows, Mac, or Linux, anywhere you can run it. Now here, when you install this JMeter, you will see something like this directory structure. So let me show you that how can you download and install this. So you go to download JMeter and this is the zip file, you will get it. Here it is, tarball and zip file, whichever you are comfortable. And typically I installed all of my software in the C and tools. So let me show you here. And then here you have JMeter 5.4. This is the directory structure. So all the source code of the JMeter, that the compile code, jar file and all, you can find here. Some extra files can be here. Start stop script is here. Documents and all is here. Very simple to understand. So now the question is, how do we start this? So you have to go to the bin directory. That is where you will see that here, bin directory. And here you have many scripts actually. So here if you see that there's some script which is this one is for the Linux and this is for Windows. Okay, many other scripts are also there which you can use it. So let me open a command line and drag this because Java is installed, so it will start running. So JMeter is a console based. So right now one console will be loaded. Let's wait for a few seconds. So it's taking little time, just wait for it.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.